Jody, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Now tell us a bit about you and what you're doing here.
Okay, well, we're the original supper box company, and it's a food service provider with a bit of a difference. It's kind of a modern twist on dinner parties and making life easier for our potential clients or our clients. We take fantastic ingredients from around the southeast. We've got some really great farms, some dairies, etc. Food that we really want to shout about, and they're very local to us. We take it all and put it into a box, and we send it out to our customers. So the best way to describe what we do is a flat pack dinner party service.
Right.
So we have a website where we have 4 starters, 4 main courses and 4 desserts, which have all been tailor-made and actually designed by me. I'm the chef side of things.
Okay.
We take the hassle out of hosting a dinner party.
Right. What the hassle factor then in hosting a dinner party?
So
Dinner parties are meant to be fun, aren't they? And people like
dinner
spend
parties
all
are
day
meant
getting
to
ready
be
for
fun.
them.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of a dinner party. You invite people round, but very often we find that we're the ones in the kitchen running around, pulling our hair out. Literally, all of my hair started already. And trying to make sure everyone else is having a nice time.
Yeah.
And we want to make it possible for the host to have a good time as well. So we take out the issue of having to go to the shops.
Right.
We take away the issue of having to research the recipe and the menus. We send all of the ingredients pre-weighed, pre-measured in the box with an easy to follow recipe guide. So yeah, that's kind of what we do.
So you're taking the hassle out of getting ready for preparing the dinner and delivering it to your guests.
Yes. Yeah.
And tell me, you were talking to me earlier about the kind of people that you thought might well be your target market.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously we're just on the brink of launching the business now. It's taken a while to get it to this point, and part of the sort of setup of it was doing all the market research and making sure that there was a market out there.
Right.
So we've looked at various demographics, and we've highlighted the demographic that we're going for, which is young professionals between 25 and 35 to maybe 40 who are earning around about £35,000 plus, and just are very wrapped up in their professional life, and they don't have a lot of time to go out and source the ingredients and mess around with different recipes, but they want to impress their friends, they want to invite people around and show off their skills.
Right.
So that's our demographic.
Okay. And so where do they sit then? Somewhere between Chinese takeaway and going out for a really posh meal?
We appreciate the fact that there are options there, and we're just putting another option in for people who want to invite people around. I love a Chinese takeaway, and I love a curry, but I wouldn't want one every night of the week, and I wouldn't want one every time people come around to my house.
Right. And geographically, you're here in the Cranley area, but we're
yeah, geographically, we're like I said earlier, we've got some fantastic providers. We are marketing mainly at South East London.
Right.
However, we're also going to have a presence in the Surrey area, in the Cranley area, because we realise that a lot of our demographic will be here anyway. We have a nationwide delivery as well, which is really important for us to work.
So anywhere in the UK?
Anywhere in the UK, yeah. So we sat for 6 months. It's taken to get from initial idea to this point where I'm sat in an office now, and I don't have a full-time job. This is my full-time job now.
Okay.
This is it. And in that 6 months, we've discussed every single aspect of the business, and we initially set out that we'd do the logistics ourselves, and that we'd have a couple of vans, and it's myself and my brother who's the business partners, and initially we won't take anyone on until we can afford to, but we'd have a couple of vans, and we'd do up the food in the morning, and then we'd jump in the van and we'd go up to London, or we'd go to deliver anytime and anywhere we want. But realistically, that's not possible.
Okay.
My time is, I'd be a very expensive van driver. My time is much better spent developing recipes, working with food, working with the suppliers that we have to get the best possible price for our customers. So what we've done is we've spoken to another local firm who are a logistics company, and they're going to manage our logistics for us.
Right, okay.
And they'll do a delivery for us anywhere in the UK at around about the same cost as it would have been for us to have a couple of vans. So we'll still have a van which we'll make local drops with,
yes.
Where it's more cost efficient for us to do that. but we're outsourcing.
You've outsourced your logistics there.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So 6 months ago, you had an idea. Is that what I
Yeah.
heard you say? And what prompted it all? What was the driver behind it?
I've had aspirations to run my own business for a long time. So I've been a chef for about 15 years. In fact, my parents used to own Cromwell Tea Rooms in Cranley,
Yes.
and that's probably where I first burnt my first scone or burnt my first cake. And so I've had aspirations to sort of follow in my parents' footsteps. And it's something I've looked at. But to have a restaurant is incredibly expensive. The high street is changing a little bit now. To get a restaurant set up, the costs are exorbitant. You have to have the lease, the money for the lease of the premises that you're having, which is anywhere 30,000 plus. You then have to furnish and fit out a kitchen, which can be up to about £30,000 to do it properly. Then you've got to furnish the actual restaurant itself. So for us, or for me, that just wasn't financially viable. I've got a baby on the way, as you know,
Yes.
very, very soon. And 6 months ago, that wasn't possible. But I spoke to my brother, who's also always wanted to run his own business. He's very, very passionate about food, just like myself. So his background's in marketing, and it never crossed my mind for us to work together. So we sat down and we hatched this plan, and we looked at a marketplace that was sort of just developing at the moment. And we thought, we saw a niche, we spotted a niche, and we thought we could go for that. And here we are now.
Excellent. Good. And the future, what does it look like? What kind of aspirations you got for the company?
The aspirations, we're planned up to 5 years. The way we finance the business is through a government grant scheme. So in order to actually qualify for that grant, we had to show 5 years worth of financial planning.
Right, okay.
So we know where we are pretty much day to day for the next 3 years, and the final 2 years is real sort of pie in the sky. Let's hope for the best. So what we expect is a sort of gradual curve of sales to begin with. We're limiting the amount of marketing that we're doing and trying to keep that in budget. Doing lots and lots of social media marketing and lots of face-to-face marketing at food fairs.
Yes.
Taste Cranley next year will definitely be there.
Yeah.
Lots of things like that. And we expect that our sales in the next year or so will hit our targets, which are to be doing about 500 boxes a week, which is quite high, but we really feel, we're really passionate, and we really feel that we've got something quite clever here.
Right.
The way it works in terms of brand advocation, so we provide dinner party boxes for 2, 4 or 8 people. If we provide a box for 8 people, we expect 2 of the people who are dining at that dinner party to go away and to use us separate to the people that have already used us. Because when you're at a dinner party, one of the core conversation topics is the food that's on the table.
Indeed.
And so, we're hoping that our brand advocates will do our sales for us.
Okay.
So,
relatively new, brand new startup, but quite a bit of experience in getting it together. What kind of hiccups have you encountered? What would you do differently? Already I'm asking you, what would you do differently if you're starting again?
Hiccups are plenty. I think, we always had an idea, and we set out, and as I said, we had to do an extensive business plan. And so we always had an idea of how it was going to work, and all the little intricacies, but it's when you're actually doing them. We never anticipated that setting up a bank account would take so long.
Right.
We expected it to go into a bank, set it, present ourselves, say we'd like a bank account, show the business model so that they know that it's working, and that it will work, and we're a viable sort of proposition for them. But it just wasn't like that. It was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I think probably doing things differently, in that 6 months, I probably would have planned a timeline of how we're going to bring it to market much better, to give ourselves slightly more options with some of the suppliers that we're using. So because we're a distribution service, all of our food has to be temperature controlled from the point of exit of this building to the point of reaching our consumer. So we use special boxes.
Right.
And those boxes have been pretty tricky to design and taken a little bit longer, so they'll hold their temperature for up to 8 hours in transit.
Right, okay.
So they're, they're high-tech boxes. I've bored my wife senseless with all this talk about boxes over the past few months. But yeah, it's always the things that you don't expect to be the tricky things are the ones that have really sort of jumped up and hit us around the face. So
yeah, always will be
Yeah.
the case. And we were talking earlier about Christmas is coming along. You've got something special, I think, planned for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, not just at Christmas, but all through the year, as well as doing our 3-course offering of, we do additional sales, so we will be doing alcohol, wine. There's a fantastic brewery just down the road that we've done a deal with to supply us with beer bespoke for us.
Right.
We will also do artisan breads and stuff, and then alongside all of that, we have an additional sales line in roast boxes and in promotional boxes. So our first one is a Halloween stroke bonfire box.
Yeah, this week. So.
Yes, hopefully starting by the end of next week,
Yeah.
throwing those out to people. But the Christmas box we're hoping is going to be quite a large market for us. So we'll provide everything for a 4-course Christmas lunch for 6 people. And we hope to sell. We're going to limit edition them so that we can control our costs at this end. We hope to sell about 150 of them, and we've got a fantastic local producer of turkeys,
Right.
which is about 200 metres from where I live currently, which is fantastic. Other companies talk about food miles, we talk about food metres. Our meat supplier, our butcher, award-winning butcher, is about 200 yards
Fantastic.
down the end of the lane there.
Yeah.
Ruckmans, who are just produce phenomenal meat and have worked with Waitrose in the past. So, ingredient is really important to us. But Christmas, is going to be a busy time for us, we hope.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Best of luck with your launch.